Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Level Grinding. It's your best friend Drew here with my best friend Robin. What's going on, buddy?
Not much.
Cool. Got
some weird news today in the gaming world.
well, that's the only kind of news we get anymore, isn't it? Alrighty. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and just jump right into that, discuss the gaming news, and then we get one of those rare opportunities where for the last week or so we've been playing the same thing, so we get to kind of gush back and forth about that a little bit, so it's going to be fun, and then we'll just see where it goes from there. So what happened in gaming that's weird by our standards?
Right, so next week PGA Tour 2K23 comes out, the golfing game, with its highlighted character John Cena.
Why? Hi.
I don't know, but I did not see that coming. I didn't even mean to make that joke.
Oh, yeah, I love wrestling. I love wrestling. But what? Who made that call?
I don't know, but like when I saw it the other day, I was like, really? One of my favorite classic games, Live Alive, will be coming next month to PlayStation and Steam. It's a old school classic JRPG that never made its way out of Japan, and now it's finally coming to the West, and I'm super excited for my friends that have had to put up with me talking about it to actually get to play it. Forspoken Story DLC is arriving this May, and the story is set 25 years before Frey's adventure.
Oh, very nice. Good to be your mom?
Yes.
That's what's up.
Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED and accessories were revealed, available for pre-order, immediately sold out, and are now available again as they've made more units available.
Very nice.
And Warner Brothers' Multiverses game is being taken offline with a plan to relaunch in 2024.
That's what kills me, right? I was reading an article about that. And 2 years? What do you mean the beta? Yeah, they announced that they're taking it down because the beta is closing and they're going to relaunch the full game later this year. That's their announcement.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean the full game? We've got like tournaments and 2 season passes for this thing have come out. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's only actually been out for 8 or 9 months.
I'm just saying it's been out for long enough that like it feels weird that it's beta.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Run video game is being developed by...
We did, because we discussed why it's weird, why I thought it was Donatello.
Yeah. Evil 4 Remake is getting Mercenaries mode launching as free DLC next month.
Yay, I guess. That's like the part of Resident Evil 4 I did not at any point ever care about. What, Drew? Didn't like the multiplayer? Crazy. Yeah, I know. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Mercenaries isn't multiplayer. It's the score attack minigame.
It feels like multiplayer.
Weird.
I never said I wasn't.
And Atlas Fallen, unfortunately, has been delayed to August. That's the open world RPG set in the desert. It looks really beautiful, but it's unfortunately got the delay happening.
What is it with RPGs getting delayed all the time?
Because they got to make sure they're putting out the best quality. I understand, but it's just always like, But
I mean, it always seems to be RPGs though. Like I don't see Call of Duty getting delayed. I fucking wish.
Oh, it does, but it just doesn't affect us, so you don't know this.
I have Call of Duty people on my Facebook. I feel like if Call of Duty was getting delayed with any kind of regularity, I would know about it whether I wanted to.
Oh no, not with a regularity. Just
yeah, they're like RPGs get delayed with enough regularity. They're like, oh, X game is delayed. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know it was an RPG. Cool.
Last week, right after we recorded our episode, they showed a gameplay trailer and set a June release window for Aliens Dark Descent, which looks really cool. It's a tactical squad-based action game set in the Aliens universe.
I assumed it was set in the Aliens universe.
Tactical squad-based RPG set in the Samurai Pizza Catch universe.
I'd be like, all right, it's a choice.
Sonic Origins Plus is adding Amy as a playable character, adding in the Game Gear games, and more this June. It also will get a physical release this time around for people who like to hold things, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. It just makes me think of Sonic Frontiers. I have to play that at some point.
In nerdy news that's not gaming related. We got a trailer for Marvel's Secret Invasion and trailer for Blue Beetle movie within the last 24 hours. And they announced a Moana live action remake, which seems really soon.
Yeah,
to
it's
me.
very soon. Like the ones that are getting remakes are the classics from when we were kids. And those are like make more sense. Like Moana is still in like the very recent memory. Like I'm not sure why that one. The only thing
2016.
I could imagine is that The Rock really pushed for it.
The Rock's been having a rough couple months, so
He
they're
pushed
giving him
for
this
it
as a treat.
and was like I'll help pay for it. Like I'll do all this. Like it's the only thing I can imagine is that The Rock is like, please give me Moana back.
I need
Especially
something.
look, and I don't feel bad for him for his most recent bad couple months. He joined the wrong team. That's what the fuck he gets.
Not only that, but he declined to make a cameo in Shazam because he wanted Black Adam to not be associated with such a kiddie hero. And it's like, well, you threw on the wrong show.
Joined the wrong team. You know what would have happened if he would have been like, I don't want to do that at Marvel? They'd have been like, I don't give a shit what you want to do. That's what makes sense. You're contractually obligated to do it, or we just won't make your movie. Or we'll cast somebody else in your movie. Marvel, ask Terrence Howard. Was it Terrence Howard that played Rhodey in the first Iron Man? Ask Terrence Howard whether they'll fucking recast you or not.
That's what happens when you get greedy.
Yeah, you get a little too snarky. You're about to be somebody else. Get a whole new makeover.
You get replaced with Don Cheadle.
Yeah. Get replaced with evil Captain Planet. You know you fucked up. Anybody listening to the sound of my voice right now who is confused by what I mean by evil Captain Planet, please, after this episode is over, Google Don Cheadle Captain Planet and watch every single one of those episodes.
Save the planet or I'll turn you into a fucking tree.
Remember, kids, turn off your water and recycle, or I'll turn you into a fucking tree. Oh, those Captain Planet shorts were the funniest shit. Hello, Veronica.
Where's Veronica?
She just opened my door. Cat says hi, everybody.
She's like, what's up?
The funny part, right, is when the door opened, she was laying in a loaf where the door was closed at. So I don't even know what she did to open it.
She headbutted it open.
She had to. And like looked in the doorway confused as to what happened.
So, hey Drew, what you playing?
No, baby. All right, it's gush time. Up until like this morning, I took a break to switch back to Suikoden 2, which I'm not going to gush on right now because that's going to release this year and they're going to have to hear me do it then. But up until that, when I'm not working or exhausted sleeping from working, I've been playing Resident Evil 4 Remake. And man, look, we know that I loved Final Fantasy 7, right? The remake. I gushed about that for like a year before people had to listen to the sound of my voice on YouTube and podcasting platforms. So I want you to keep my love for that in mind when I say this. Resident Evil 4 Remake is the perfect remake. You cannot, like, as a fan of the original Resident Evil 4, it is so hard to like legitimately find something to complain about within the confines of the remake. Because like with the Final Fantasy 7 remake, there's a lot of things where people are like, well, they changed the story and I don't like that. Okay, we get it. You're fragile. I understand. Or they added or they took away this thing that I liked in the game. And that's fine. But like they didn't take anything out of the Resident Evil 4 remake. Even though those motherfuckers told us they did. And they baited us into thinking that they did, right? So I remember when the game came out and they were like, when the game was announced, when the game was announced and they were like, yeah, we cut that fucking dog rescue from the first couple minutes of the game. You can't rescue the dog anymore. And the whole internet was like, the fuck you mean I can't rescue the dog anymore? That dude was super important when I was fighting that boss later on. And they're like, yep, now we took that out. And then where that dog is at in the original game, they put a dead dog in a bear trap to make you think like, oh fuck, we can't rescue the dog anymore. God damn. And then like 2 or 3 chapters later, the dog pops up in like a different spot in a bear trap that you absolutely still get to rescue. And I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers. So they took all of the all of the key points and the high spots, like all the stuff that fans about Resident Evil 4 had talked about for years, and like look forward to the shootout in the house with Luis. The only thing they took out the Easter egg where Luis kills you if you shoot him too many times, which thank fuck, because the house fight scene is much hairier, but you do that after you rescue Ashley this time. They kept the Easter egg in with the lake monster eating you if you shoot off the dock, which was fun. Like, they kept all of the important shit in. They just made everything better, even if that makes it worse. Ramon Ramon Salazar looks way grosser. And they took out one of the things I hate the most, which I'll get to later because it's part of my question. So I'll dig into that once we get going in that part later on. But for me, like, Resident Evil 4 Remake is like the perfect remake. I'm in my third playthrough right now. I found my favorite Leon outfit accessory combo, and it's just so much fun to just pick it up and keep going. I'm trying to learn all the speedrun skips so that I can get through professional. Professional, to get S+, I don't need S+. I don't want that. I want an A. To get an A in professional mode, you have to clear the game in 7 hours or less. S+, no fucking idea how anybody does that. If you do that, you're an absolute beast. To clear S+ in professional mode, you have to beat the game in 4 hours or less. It's more than 4 hours of walking around. Like, I don't know how the hell people will do that. Anybody who gets that hand cannon, you're a god, man. I can't do it. Oh, no, maybe not the hand cannon. The hand cannon doesn't require S+. You just have to beat it on professional mode on the first save. But, man, such a good game. It's so well done. They've fixed Ashley mostly. Ashley, like, as a character, is much more likable. She's not nearly as annoying. She's way more relatable and understandable as an existing person. On the higher difficulties, her AI is absolutely still a fucking liability. I got to the part I think I'm on professional or hardcore, where the cannon part at the castle, where you have to like get the cannon and take out the catapults.
Yeah.
And it's like, I take out a catapult, one of them hits, Ashley goes down because she's not where I told her to be. And she gets hit. I got to pick her back up and then get back on the cannon and try to find it. Oh, she got hit again. I got to pick her back up. It took me like an extra 5 minutes on that part because I had to keep exiting out of the cannon to pick Ashley back up because she was standing directly at the fucking line of the catapult. So, like, on the higher difficulties, her AI is absolutely still a problem. But she's not even close to the liability she was in the original release. Like, I want the armor for nostalgia purposes. In the original release, I wanted the armor just so that she was like a functional existing person. But no, all in all, nothing but great things to say about the Resident Evil remake. All of the characters look dope. It was very cool to have the merchant have more than "what you buying" in his dialogue tree. So that was pretty cool. Fun little Easter egg. You can hit Ashley with an egg if she pisses you off and she just whines about it, and that's pretty funny. Yeah, no, mostly just been playing Resident Evil 4 remake and could not possibly be happier about this game release. I knew I was gonna like it, but I like it a lot more than I anticipated, if I'm being honest. But aside from that, pretty much just Resident Evil 4 and Suikoden 2. Suikoden 2 is fairly new. I pulled it up to test out the DuckStation emulator, which is who does emulating. Do that shit. It's fantastic. Works like a charm. Doesn't require almost any of the setup that EPSXE requires. So now I'm doing Suikoden 2 to get myself ready for when it launches on PS5. And right now I'm playing with Game Shark codes built in. My two favorite Game Shark codes ever for Suikoden 2, which aren't even like game breaking. They're just fun for me. It's 0 playtime, so I can do Clive's missions, and then I enable Joey as recruitable characters. So even after he leaves the party, I get both regular Joey and King Joey in my party list. So what you been playing?
I also played a little Resident Evil 4. I beat it once. I'm done with it. But I've been playing Atelier Rise of 3 on the PC, and it's
super
phenomenal.
shocked.
They, in addition to, just the average Atelier things of like alchemy and just party building and all that, this has added in an open world element. So instead of going like when you're in the home village, instead of it going through like 12 different screens to cover the place, it's all one area. And then each one of the game segment areas is one huge open area, and they added in cooking to where when you rest at a campfire, you can select the type of food to make, and for 5 minutes it applies a buff that's either like strength, defense, XP up, coal up, which is the money, and it's very beautiful. I had to switch to playing it on my desktop because my laptop cannot handle it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's one of those games I really want to get into, but like I know my limitations as a player. And I'm like, man, I need that to have English dialogue track.
And all you gotta do is just turn the voices off and just treat it like a game that's not voice acted.
I mean, can you turn them off separately? I played one of the Celia games and it didn't let me turn the voices off. I had to turn the whole volume down.
Yeah, it's almost always under the volume in there. It says like voice volume, sound effects volume, music volume.
Yeah, I went to one and it was just like master volume or something else like that. It didn't have voices separate.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing.
Just
really enjoying it. I've been waiting for this, as you know, since the moment it was announced.
Mm-hmm. Since the second I came out of my mother's womb, I was waiting for this game.
All right, so now to the question and answer segment of our show.
Yeah, what you got for me? I'm gonna let you start this time.
I love how he says this time, like I don't almost always start, but let's go. What was the game that or event in your life that catalyzed it from being someone who plays video games to I'm a gamer?
So, if ever anybody would like a witness to, I can probably make a phone call and bring my dad on the show, but he can absolutely attest to what I'm about to tell you. Final Fantasy VII. So when I was a kid, I played primarily stuff like Mario and Sonic, and I was frequently like an outside kid. I was still like heavy set for whatever reason, but I was mostly like a rides my bike, and when I'm at home and I'm in for the night, I'll play some Sonic or whatever. Final Fantasy VII was the moment that all changed, because I think Final Fantasy VII was the first game I ever played that was story based. Like Sonic was got to jump on things and beat Robotnik, and I saved the little forest creatures, and yay, the game's over. Woo. And Final Fantasy VII was the first time I ever played a game that was like story engrossing. That's why I hold 7 in such high esteem, even though I can also acknowledge where its flaws are that a lot of Final Fantasy VII fans cannot do. And I remember, one time, I'll never fucking forget this conversation. I don't even know if my dad remembers this conversation, but I was playing the game and we were living in this motel at the time. I was staying at his house that weekend, and his girlfriend all lived in the same motel. She was like a floor down or whatever. And he was like, hey, I'm going to go to work. If the weather gets bad, go down to her room and stay with her so you're good. And I was like, okay, cool. I can do that. And then I was playing the game, and apparently the weather turned bad, and I didn't notice. So his hotel phone rings, and he's the only one that has the number, so I know it's him. And I pick it up. I'm like, hello. And he says, hey, where are you at? And I looked at the screen, and I go, well, I'm in the Ginatak caves, and I'm trying to figure out how to get past this puddle. And he said, where are you physically at? So, like, to yell at me to like, get down there now so you're good. And that was when I was like, oh, this game is dope, because I like got lost from the real world within this game. So, yeah, the game that turned me into a gamer was Final Fantasy VII. And funny story, about a month maybe after I finished Final Fantasy VII, I was hanging with my dad's friend David, and he was playing a game, and I watched him fly on this dragon across these mountains, and I was like, ooh, that game looks pretty dope. What is this? And that was my introduction to Suikoden 1. So he's my dad. My dad introducing me to RPGs is what turned me into this creature that my friends and family have to tolerate, and he's not sorry in the slightest. What was it for you, sir?
My galvanizing moment was playing Sweet Home with my uncle Akira. Sweet Home is the spiritual ancestor to Resident Evil. It was a RPG on the Nintendo made by a lot of the same crew that would eventually go on to make Resident Evil. And it's a horror RPG where you're in a house trying to get rid of a ghost that's haunting it, and it's surprisingly really deep for a Nintendo game, but it's a very scary game. And it, like, before that, I had played like Mario and Donkey Kong and that kind of stuff. But sitting there with my uncle Akira, both of us just locked into this game, terrified and yet so intrigued. And it just, at that moment, it was, this is what I want to do with life. And that every time we record something or every time I do a show with the Nexus Gaming Alliance and we're at a convention and I'm getting paid, I always laugh about the fact that when I was younger, Mom would always tell me that I needed to stop focusing on video games because I was never going to get paid for video games.
Yeah, I've been told that so many times. Like, you're never going to get paid for that. It was the same people, right? Same people. Told me I had to learn to do math in my head because I was going to have a calculator in my pocket every day. What a fucking liar they all turned out to be. I can't remember the last time I didn't have a calculator in my pocket. Okay, so what is a popular game mechanic that would immediately turn you off of a game?
One that's popular now or that has been popular?
Just popular, however you choose to define that within this context.
Excessive QuickTime events during cutscenes.
Bro.
What?
That was my answer.
Oh.
All right. Well, I'm glad we agree on that. Oh,
it's just so obnoxious. Like, I love the way that they did everything with Resident Evil 4 to get rid of those QTEs.
Right.
Like, the whole fucking Krauser match in the original Resident Evil 4 is a QTE.
Like it's all a QTE. I fucking hate QTEs so much. They serve to help no one. Like, why are they still happening? I hated them in God of War. And they were there to fuck bitches, which we both know. I'm here to fuck bitches. But if you're gonna put QTE in the way, it's gonna be real annoying. Yeah, they fixed the Krauser fight in 4 was better. They had like limited QTEs, but it's less of a QTE, more of like a tap circle to evade.
Yeah, that's not a QTE. That's a reaction that's telling you on the screen.
Yeah. Like, they replaced the whole boulder scene with like rocks fall and you die, so you just hit evade. Like, it's the QTE exclusion is one of those things that makes me like, it's the perfect remake. They took like some of the only things I didn't like about Resident Evil 4 and took them out. And I'm like, oh god, it's so good. I hate QTEs so much. And then like that phase in like the late 90s to early 2000s where they were just like, oh, we're gonna put QTEs in everything. But why? Who is clamoring for this specific feature?
The mid 2000s to the early 2010s. Late 90s didn't have them at all. We were fortunate.
Like, fucking, oh, it was awful. There's these QTEs everywhere. But I could be wrong. I haven't played this game. Well, I played like 2 chapters of it like years and years ago, and I haven't played it since. Fucking Wrath of Ashura? Wouldn't that game just fucking QTEs everywhere?
No. It just had some, but like mostly the battles were, it looked like QTEs when you used your special moves, but that was like doing boost mode in Final Fantasy VIII on things. It wasn't a QTE, it was just a thing you could do, but I love that game. Eventually that game is, if you want to see ridiculous power scaling, it's that game.
Oh, I'm sure. Most of the people I know that like that game are also like big old huge Dragon Ball Z nerds. So like Cam, you know Cam.
Yeah.
Cam's favorite game is Dark Souls because he doesn't know where love is supposed to exist within his heart and soul. And
I know Cam. I made him pee himself.
Cam fucking loves Ashura's Wrath. Loves Ashura's Wrath. I'm like, of course you do. Of course you do. But like, yeah, these QTEs are garbage, man. Like, I can deal with so much bullshit. I know that we know that because like I don't hate most mini games and RPGs, and most of them are quantifiably bullshit. But man, QTEs are awful. Like, I just want to watch this. Like, why did you go to all of this work to make this like artistic storytelling, beautiful cutscene that's supposed to like engage me in whatever's happening right now, and then put buttons over top of it where I have to stop paying attention to the scene to pay attention to where my hand is so that I can press the buttons. Like, I love that you made like 3 versions of this fucking cutscene, or 2 versions, depending on how many QTEs are in it, a variety of versions of this cutscene where I do or don't succeed the QTE, and that changes shit at a certain point. But like, you know what? Fuck you, Kingdom Hearts. You do it too. Making like 7 different versions of a cutscene depending on whether I did the QTEs right. I just do the one you want.
No, I like that.
Do one you want to do, and just play it. Let me enjoy the fucking work the cinema team did. I know it's not called a cinema team. I don't know what it's called. I'm not in that deep in the industry yet. But like whoever makes the cutscenes, just let me see the work they did. They worked their asses off. Just let me see it. Just play it. Don't fucking put buttons over top of shit. Final Fantasy 13. Also you.
Okay, we don't need a checklist of every game.
Wait, we don't have time for that.
Column.
I'm just doing a checklist of games that knew better and did it anyway. Final Fantasy X, although you had a very limited spot, so I'll kind of give that a little bit of a break. Man,
yeah, that doesn't count as a QTE.
It's QTE, but it's just in one segment.
That's a mini game.
It's the QTE mechanic, but as a mini game instead of like a game wide mechanic.
Yeah, and I'm fine with some of them, like Until Dawn. Like, if it's something where missing it gets me a game over, fuck that. But if it's something where missing it creates an alternate ending, that can be fun.
It's not even like an alternate. Like, so what I'm talking about is like not even like an alternate ending. It's like the best example is Final Fantasy 13-2 in the tutorial, where you're fighting Caius as Lightning, and you have like the QTEs to like how you attack him, and if you don't attack him in time, he hits you instead. It doesn't change anything. Like the ending still happens exactly the same. It's just an alternate version of like who takes the damage and gets knocked into what.
Yeah, that's
like
attack.
You could have just played the cutscene. It would have been the same. None of it would have mattered.
It wasn't supposed to be a cutscene. It was supposed to be a battle.
You could have just let me fight the battle, like I did just before that. If it's a battle, let me do the battle. Let me fight. If it's a cutscene, play the cutscene. Like pressing up diagonal circle is not helpful in the context of watching what's happening.
All right. What is a hidden gem from your childhood? It needs to be a actual hidden gem, not like we can't say Suikoden or anything. We love them, but
it's not
have
hidden
enough.
Yeah, no. Yeah, look, let me just on Suikoden here real fast. It's not my hidden gem, but like Suikoden is one of those games that like when Eiyuden Chronicle launched and did as well as it did, I was like, oh fuck, it's not like a cult classic. It's just not super popular.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that was a real eye opener for me because like all the Suikoden groups, there's like Suikoden groups on Facebook. They have like 1,000 members or 2,000, maybe 5. The Suikoden Reddit, I think, has like 6,000 Redditors. So it feels like a cult classic when you're like in the Suikoden community doing conversations about it. And then Eiyuden Chronicle pops off and makes $4 million. And I was like, oh, the people I know who play Suikoden do not have a $4 million to give. So this is absolutely reaching people that I was not aware were into this. Okay, cool. So I'm going to try to make sure that
Let me finish the question.
Okay, I thought you did. I apologize.
Well, no, I was just adding that caveat in just in case we were going to gush on Suikoden. But
I'll always gush on Suikoden, but not for that.
Hidden gem from your childhood that you wish more people had the chance to experience, or that you would like to re-experience. That's the whole question.
Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and give myself a caveat here, because if I don't, it's going to become an issue. I will not choose any games that I've already kind of gone on about before, largely to keep myself off of ranting about Grand Stream Saga, because I sure will. I love that game. It's fantastic. Man. So maybe this is not a hidden gem. I think it is, because you're maybe like the second person I've ever encountered who's heard of it outside of the PS2 games that came much later. But the original Arc the Lad series, those games were awesome. Like Arc the Lad, specifically 2 and 3, are built around a mechanic that I actively look for in games and occasionally struggle to find. So Arc the Lad 2 and even more so Arc the Lad 3 are built around a hunt board mechanic. So they'll like people are posting hunts or posting jobs, and then your job as a hunter is to fulfill those jobs. And like with Arc the Lad 3, that's what moves the plot forward. As Alex's entire goal is to become the best hunter in the world and save people. So the hunt board in Arc 3 is like pivotal to the plot. But in Arc 2, it's still like a major bit. Arc 2, by the way, is one of the longest games I've ever played. Holy shit. Does that game just go and go and go and go and go? But yeah, Arc the Lad, the first 3 games as a totality. Arc of the Spirits Within was really good. End of Darkness was okay. It was playable. I didn't like that they swapped out the party mechanic for the cards. That wasn't dope for me. But aside from that, yeah, all of the first 3 Arc the Lag games are fantastic. I wish everybody else had gotten to explore them when I did, as early as I did. A lot of people who are getting to them now on emulators, so they're getting the optimized experience. But these motherfuckers with save states do not know the struggle of Arc the Lab 1 and going down to get Choco and having to get back up. It's like a 50-floor dungeon with no saves in between, no healing spots in between. You had to go all the way down, fight your way all the way down, recruit this character this is the most Robin-esque character I can imagine. Choco is like a 6-year-old girl with the power of like a demon. She's the most powerful character in the game, but she's also hyper cute and 6 years old and will wreck the planet if you give her the chance. Excuse me. Yeah, no, all of those games are so good. Arc 2 is one of my favorites just because it was such a continuation of Arc 1. Like Arc 1 just kind of ended and then Arc 2 picked it back up. But there are characters within the first 2 Arc Blad games which were like crucial to like stuff that I've grown to like as RPG characters. Like if you put Tosh in any game, that's my favorite character. Tosh is dope. But yeah, no, like in the story in the first one is like passable for when it came out. The second Arc the Lag game has one of the most insane stories ever. That shit just goes and twists and turns. It's like an anime, which conveniently enough there is an anime. But yeah, if I had to pick like a hidden gem that I want more people to play, it's the Arc the Lag series 1, 2, and 3.
Pick a gem. Here's 3 gems. So
Well,
I'm gonna pick 3 gems too.
It gets launched as like when it came out as a 3-game pack, like all at once.
Oh, in the West, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, we don't. Most of us don't play in the East, sir. I
yeah,
wish.
I know. I'm like, no, it didn't. Then I'm like, wait, it did over here.
Yeah. So when I got access to it, it was all 3 of the first games. So I kind of lump them together. Oh, and Arc 2 also, for anybody listening, Arc 2 has a monster arena disc. So you can just take your characters into the monster arena and just grind the bejesus out of them. And I don't know, as there is a level cap in Arc the Lad 2, but if there is, it's real fucking high. So you just level to like 200 and just wipe the game. Oh, it's so good. So good. Sorry.
But mine would be Guardians Crusade. You ever hear of that one?
I have not heard of that one.
Oh, it's a JRPG for the PS1 where you play a character named Knight. You're a knight, and you have a pink-winged pig named Baby that transforms as you play through the game and like level it up certain ways and that kind of stuff. And your summons are all in the form of little hidden toys that you find. And there's over 100 of them. So there's over 100 summons in a PS1 game.
This is Emily Axford's favorite one.
No, but I can see where you got.
It's my name, baby.
But the enemies, you can see the enemies on the world map, which was a wild thing back then for a JRPG to do. And they appear in the form of giant pink sperm, basically. They're like these weird pink globs with a thing. And when you get too high a level over them, they're white and they run away quickly. It is such a great game. But see, that and Legend of Legaia, that's a game that's
only ever seen Legend of Legaia. Like, I've actually got to play it, but when I was doing there are words, I promise there are words in my head. When I was a kid, we were doing text-based role-play, and I used Legend of Legaia characters as character images because I don't have artistic abilities. So, I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I do need to play it. I've heard good things.
Yeah. Play it, and then its sequel on the PS2, Legaia 2 Dual Saga. They say it's a sequel. The worlds aren't even related. So it's a sequel. It's another game in the series, like a Final Fantasy.
Okay.
But yeah, those right there, those were incredibly hidden gems that I absolutely loved. Then there was one, I cannot remember the name of it now. Harbinger. Steel Harbinger. It's just like a top-down like shooting game, but in it you play a cybernetic woman who is trying to defeat all these invading aliens and stuff. And you blow your opponents apart and you gain your health back by eating them. And it like flashes like what you're eating on the screen. So like you can walk over an enemy's pelvis and its pelvis shows up there and you've eaten it to get your health back and stuff. It's
Sounds horrifying.
I played it when I was 8.
Okay.
No, I was not 8. I think I was like 11.
I'm saying, Jesus Christ.
It wasn't out when I was 8.
I feel like that one kid. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, those are my hidden gems.
So let me ask you this one. So I have an answer, but you'll have a tougher time choosing. What is a game that came out in Japan, just one, that you wish had made it stateside but never did?
Mm. See, there's a
Mhm.
challenge with that because my usual answer is coming stateside next month.
Oh yeah, get it out of here.
Yeah,
No Trails of Atelier over here.
actually, Yeast versus Trails in the Sky.
I knew Trails was going to be involved with this.
Yeah, its full name is Yeast versus Trails in the Sky Alternative Saga.
Mm.
It's the game we choose characters and it's 4-player fights. It was a PSP game. It was fun, but really, actually, I don't think I wish it had come over here because people might have been just biased against the Trail series after that because it was heavily important on the actual Yeast series. Like, there's Adol, Doji, Elk, Mishera, Aisha, Gase, Krishi, and Chester. But Trails just has Estelle, Joshua, Tita, Agate, and Olivier. And there are people from other Trails games that were in it. Not Trails, other Falcom games. But let's see. One that I really wish had come over here. Breath of Fire 6. It was the Breath of Fire MMO.
Okay.
What about you?
So, I don't have a lot of personal experience with Japanese games, especially with my language barrier. And I'll get the obvious caveat out of the way. Everyone knows that my true answer is Suikoden World of Woven Centuries, but we'll go elsewhere. So, you
Woven
remember
Web
that?
of Centuries?
Yeah, that one. It's in Japan. The game that we argue back is Shumagumi Tensei, and it's not. The one where I was like, oh, they had a Dante in there as a secret character. And you're like, yeah, that's Digital Devil Saga, I think, whatever you're telling me it was.
Yeah.
It's not the game.
What is it?
The game is Namco Cross Capcom.
Oh.
It's a PlayStation 2 Japanese only RPG starring characters from a variety of non-RPGs. So it's the cast of Namco and Capcom. So we've got, characters from Tekken. Let's see here. You got Heihachi, Devil Jin. You have got Cosmos from Xenosaga is in there. Miss Valkyrie, but from the Adventures of Valkyrie, Legend of the Time Key. And they're teaming up with like Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins, Chun-Li, Ryu, Dante. That's one because it's a tactics-based RPG that I never got to play. I've only ever heard about.
Yeah, that's the one that has Reiji and Xiaomu.
Yeah, I am going to get to play it because I found there is a translation so that it is available in English. So if I can get hands on that one, give that a run through. But yeah, that was one of the games that I've always heard about and wanted to play and never got a chance to.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Dante on the roster.
He's a secret character. They don't list him anywhere.
I mean, it would make sense if they'll list him on the Wikipedia. But anyway, yeah, every time you were describing the game, because you only said Dante was in it, not that it was a Namco and Tekken game, Namco and Capcom game. Mm-hmm. So, going off the information you provided, the only thing that hit that was a JRPG, not a tactics RPG, and that had Dante was fucking Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne.
Right.
And that's where the label featuring Dante from Devil May Cry is from.
I knew that wasn't it strictly because he was a secret character in the game. They would have announced them on the cover. And Dante also appears in Beautiful Joe. Of course he does.
Yeah.
And Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. Yeah, no, that's one of those games that I always wanted to play. And it was just until the last 10 years or so probably not available. There are a
Oh,
few.
Dante, the game you're thinking of for that is
I am
Project
not
X
thinking of
Zone.
Project Zone.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay, because I'm not finding even ways to unlock him in the one you were talking about. But this Project X Zone has my attention.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out too. I saw it when I was looking it up.
Oh, apparently he's also in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a DLC Mii skin.
Mm-hmm. Although I do want to look at this Project X Zone. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen what it looks like. I've just seen.
Well, it's a 3DS game. Oh, let me check that out, actually. Check. So they're doing a remaster, or they have done a remaster of it.
Ooh.
Now, my luck, it is out, and it's only in Japan.
Oh, there are three games in the series:
Mm-hmm.
Namco Cross Capcom, Project X Zone, and Project X Zone 2.
Well,
And Monolith
also
Software made it.
a high-definition remaster called Project X Zone HD Remaster on PlayStation 4 and 5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox Series XS, and Steam. So I just have to find out if it exists stateside or if I'm just going to be sad again. I won't wait to check right now.
Oh, it's not out yet.
Okay. When is it slated?
It's not slated yet.
Of course it's not. Why would it be?
Bandai Namco hasn't even officially announced it. They just did a job listing requesting someone to work on it, and that's where we got that it exists. So the very early stages, because that was April 22nd of 2022.
Well, I sure hope so. I'll be very excited to look at this because it's got like Sega characters in there too.
It's got what?
Sega Genesis characters.
Like who?
Ichiro Ogami and Sakura Shinguji from Sakura Wars. Akira and Pai from Virtua Fighter.
Okay, so I
Kurt
thought you
and-
meant Sega first party games, not Namco games that were on the Sega.
Well, Valkyria Chronicles, Shining Force, and Residents of Fate.
Hell yeah.
It says limited information.
Yeah. I'm getting frustrated trying to find pictures of this game because I'm just finding the cover image over and over and a picture of Leon Kennedy.
Oh, Leon. Oh, but they do include Reiji Jamu from Namco Capcom.
Yeah, because it's a series.
Mm.
Namco Cross Capcom was just the first one.
I understand that, but Cloud wasn't in Final Fantasy VIII, much to my enormous chagrin. Oh, God.
What?
This is a couple solo characters in Project X Zone. One of them is fucking Trombone, because of course it is.
I love Trombone.
Everybody does.
Why don't you?
Overexposure, I guess. I didn't play Mega Man Legends.
You should. It's a Mega Man RPG.
I think I tried, and it was one of those situations where like I played it too late, where like the graphics were already bad to me at that time.
I'm just amused that you said overexposure on.
Overexposure. I keep in mind that I have fighting game friends who play Marvel vs. Capcom like they were getting a paycheck for it. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and she was like one of the most in your face fucking characters in that game. Oh, they include Lady from Devil May Cry. I know that's your bitch for some reason.
She's so awesome. She rides a missile. What do you mean?
She's just got a rocket launcher. Like that's her whole identity is a short haircut and a rocket launcher.
And a badass. She's
a badass because she has a rocket launcher. If she's such a badass, why do I have to rescue her? If she's such a badass, why do I have to save her?
Everybody has to be saved at some point.
Not everybody. Nothing got to be saved. Till Devil May Cry like 5.
He's the character you play as. But yeah, even in 5.
Yeah, it took 5 games. The lady needed to get rescued in 5 chapters.
Because it wasn't her game.
Quit riding her dick like it was.
I'm riding her dick like she's the only worthwhile character in that game.
Okay.
I didn't enjoy 3 that much. Now, if we're dealing with 4, I love 4. And not just because my boy Johnny.
Fucking, you know who the least worthwhile character in all of Devil May Cry is, though?
Devil May Cry 3's Virgil?
Nope.
Oh, who?
Lucia. That bitch didn't even come back.
They're like, here she is. She has a cool power. Never again. I was like, oh.
Never again. Ever. We're not even going to talk about her. She's not coming back.
Like, she didn't even get a nod in DMC.
Which is funny because like you would have thought she got a nod in DMC 5 because everybody came back in 5. Like everybody makes an appearance.
I was just talking about how DMC Devil May Cry had all the fucking little Easter eggs about things, including the mop scene.
Oh yeah, and we're not gonna talk about Lucia ever.
Yeah.
What we don't discuss is Lucia. She doesn't exist.
We don't talk about that bitch. No.
Well, legitimately though. I mean, like 2 wasn't a great game. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it wasn't good, and she certainly didn't help. 2 was like rough. When I was like, "Oh, dope, we get to unlock Trish." Fuck yeah, it was rough shit.
This bitch even looks like Trish Stratus.
No, sweetie, no,
Yeah.
no. She's got blonde hair, but Trish Stratus is 4'2". What are you talking about?
I love the amount of disrespect you put on this poor woman.
I didn't put no disrespect on her. She's a munchkin. I love
She's
Trish Stratus. She is an
5'4",
Oompa Loompa.
and
Yeah,
she
okay,
is
that's the same thing to me.
5'4", and the average woman's height is 5'6". Like
Trish is not the average woman's height. She's on the height scale with Dante. She's like 6'3".
I know. I was just saying, you're like, she's an Oompa Loompa. No.
I'm 6'9". Yes, yes,
No,
she's an Oompa
just because
Loompa.
you're a giant doesn't make her a midget. She's
It makes
normal.
everybody a midget.
No.
The whole world's a midget.
If you're ever going through a day and everyone you encounter is an asshole, maybe the actual truth is you're an asshole.
Nobody's an asshole to me. I'm fantastic.
No, I was saying
The
like,
only person who's an asshole to me is you.
I wish.
Who else is an asshole to me?
No, I wish I was an asshole to you.
Bro, if I charged you $5 every time you correct me on something that does not hold pertinence to the conversation, we wouldn't have rent problems. I mean, you would, but we wouldn't.
Likewise, though.
I do it out of response to that's what I've come to expect.
We're not going to do this here.
Okay, we can do it wherever. They hear you correct me. They know. You corrected me on our last episode. Maybe not our last episode, one before that. You corrected me on the appropriate pronunciation of the name of a grocery store. It was not. Yeah. You all remember, like, y'all got to forgive him. He's doing that southern thing where he mispronounces Kroger as Kroger's.
No, I said he does that southern thing where he adds an S to the end of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Look, that's just making fun of you. That's not correcting you. That's teasing.
It was to correct me for saying XCOM as XCOMs. I remember. I know what we was doing.
I still don't know why you were doing that.
I don't know. Why is half of your dialogue to me in Japanese? You know I don't speak that shit.
Hope.
Yo, you hope that I learn Japanese by osmosis? Which one of us is crazy now?
Oh, I've always been crazy. That's not here or there. I'm like, I'm always
learning Japanese by being adjacent to Japanese is not how language learning works. And I know you know this. I know you know this. I have 3 language apps that I have lifetime subscriptions to, and none of them include Japanese. The world does not want me to learn this language.
Babbel has Japanese.
Who?
Babbel? The people you paid for a lifetime subscription?
I'm about to pull up Babbel right now because the last time I was in Babbel, they did not have Japanese. Go in here, explore. Well, let's see. Can I change my language? My languages. Let's see. Spanish Latin America, Spanish Spain, French, Italian, German, Russian, Portuguese, Norwegian, Polish, Dutch, Swedish, Turkish, Danish, and Indonesian. That's the whole language list.
Wow, they claimed that's not even a majority of the languages. Yep. They need a better name.
And I have a lifetime subscription.
I said that part.
And then on Speakly, I am in the middle of Spanish now for work. And they have English, French, German, Italian, Estonian, Finnish, and Russian. One up here. Nope, I'm not going to use that. That's not me. I'm not Chuck.
You're not what?
Duolingo thinks I'm Chuck. They were like, "Are you Chuck?" And I'm like, "I'm not Chuck. Get out of here." And then
let it think you're Chuck.
Duolingo has Japanese.
Okay. Then when you fuck up, the owl doesn't come for you. It'll come for Chuck.
They have Swedish, Japanese, German, and Spanish.
And Korean.
That's not on my list.
Weird. I swear that's what Lou was using to learn Korean.
Hang on, let me see. This may just be the list of languages I've touched on. Let me try this. Language. Of course. Oh, Spanish, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Chinese, Russian, Korean, Portuguese, Arabic, Dutch, Swedish, Norwegian, Turkish, Polish, Irish, Greek, Hebrew, Danish, Hindi, Czech, Esperanto, Ukrainian, Welsh, Vietnamese, Hungarian, Swahili, Romanian, Indonesian, Hawaiian, Navajo, Klingon, High Valerian, Latin,
I mean,
Gaelic.
Esperanto was in there, so I'm not surprised.
I don't even know what that is.
Esperanto was an artificial language constructed in 1887 by an occultist.
Okay. Gaelic, Finnish, Yiddish, Haitian Creole, Zulu. Oh, and there's a more button. What's down under more? Oh,
Even
no,
What?
no. It's all this. I can't read it. It's in different languages.
Oh. What's under more? No. Oh God, what?
Yeah, no, that's my response when I see characters that are unfamiliar.
You know what I could go for right now? Some better with cheddar.
I could go. I mean, I'll walk to the store. We're doing here. It's fine. But yeah, no. So I did like Duolingo is Duolingo. Duolingo is shut up. Duolingo
That's the gangster owl.
I'm gonna not.
He's just coming in. You ever working on your Duolingo? Come on, we going.
Where that owl, bruh. Oh man. But yeah, so like Duolingo is like the least well spoken of the language apps, and it's the only one that includes Japanese, which is, in what I've been told by everybody who learns languages, like one of the hardest languages to learn.
Probably.
I mean, I know Kenny Omega did it, but aside from Kenny O, I'm not sure. His Japanese speaking reveal was my favorite.
One of my favorite musicians who you hate learned it in the course of 18 months. No, I didn't see how he did it.
Who are we talking about?
Gwen Stefani.
I mean, I don't hate Gwen Stefani.
Oh, you just hate Hollaback Girl?
Yeah, I hate Hollaback Girl, and I hate how white girls feel like I need to listen to Hollaback Girl.
Oh, okay.
That's
I've misunderstood the whole time.
Yeah, no, it makes me roast Gwen Stefani tangentially, but like it's Hollaback Girl and the white girls associated with it.
Okay.
Yeah, so for like 6 years, Kenny Omega would only cut his promos in New Japan in English. And like, you know as much as anybody else that like Japanese people fucking love it when you're like, oh yeah, I also speak your language. They eat that shit up.
Yeah.
So Kenny Omega revealed in as perfect Japanese as a fucking white man from the States can do, that in like a heel promo, that he learned Japanese and has known it the whole time and only ever cuts his promos in English because he doesn't deserve to hear they don't deserve to hear him speak in such perfect Japanese, and then immediately switch back to English. And I was like, you monster. This isn't gaming related, except WWE makes games. We'll do this. So WrestleMania was this weekend. Yeah, fuck, man. The first night was so good. So for those who don't know, I'm very good friends with Sarah and Raymond Rowe. So Eric from Viking Raiders and Sarah Logan. So I watched. It was very exciting to see two people. I slept in their front yard. I had to see them on, a WrestleMania stage. It was such a cool moment. The first night was so good, and then they just shit the whole bed on the second night. And this is from somebody who did shit the bed with a girl there that we're gonna laugh about it. We laugh about it. It's fine. What makes me mad, right? The only thing about that situation that makes me mad. So like, I was on this work trip and I had a hotel paid for, and she came down with me, and like, shit the bed, fully shit the bed. And this is like a side tangent to bitch about WWE. I'll get back there, I promise. But like, if it's a problem, which it clearly was, like it was a problem for me and I'm the one that did it, don't lie to me about it. Don't be like, oh no, you're totally cool, and then never speak to me again. Just be like, that was gross, dude. I'm probably never going to respond to you ever again. And I'll be like, that's super fair. Let me get you home. That would have been it. The whole conversation. But no. But WWE shit the bed so hard. Like, they built this fucking Cody story. They've been building it. Cody debuted back in WWE last WrestleMania, came out the Raw after, and was like, I'm going for the titles, and then immediately ripped his pec off of his chest and then wrestled a match that way. Came back from this.
Being facetious.
I'm not. No, you can see it. It's fucking wild.
Horrifying.
It's a super. He took his jacket off. We were like, oh god, super horrifying injury. Wrestled with it. Came back, rehabbed it. Came back and won the Royal Rumble. Did this whole fucking story of Roman Reigns, and then the fucking and then Roman Reigns wins the title again. And then this motherfucker in the press release had the audacity to sit on that press release and be like, we're giving you the fresh and exciting shit, and it's just getting started. Like, bro, what have you given me new in the last 3 years? Name me 5 different things you've done. 5 different match outcomes in the last 3 years. Every Roman Reigns match, Roman comes out, grabs the mic, acknowledge me. Match starts, interference from the outside, ref takes a bump, Roman wins. It's every fucking match. Like, Tony Khan has been in pro wrestling for like 3 years, and he's already a better booker than anybody in WWE, and most of them have been in it for 20. This is just, it's fucking nuts. Like, why do we need another Hulk Hogan title reign? Why do we need a 4-year title reign? I don't need Roman Sammartino. I've seen that shit. I don't need an 11-year run. Like, that's not, it doesn't mean anything.
Nothing means anything.
There's no reason there, like, if you're gonna have a variety of matches, like if he would lose sometimes but win the title matches, that would be different. Like, it would be exciting. I'd be like, well, I know he can be beat. They was talking last night. The last time Roman Reigns got pinned was in October of 2019. That's fucking bananas. It's I mean, even Brock Lesnar, like Brock Lesnar was losing matches occasionally, even when he was just fucking suplexing half the roster to sleep. He just didn't lose.
You're setting me up to fail.
He just didn't lose when it was important. What?
I said, you're out here setting me up to fail.
All right, make your joke.
You said it was bananas, and it almost came out, but I stopped myself.
Fucking
shit is bananas. BANANAS.
See, I spell it a different way because in my brain the girl says BA, and then I go nah. Gotta cut her off. But fucking, like, it's like, what's the point? Like, I could book a better match than this, and I'm not a booker. I'm not, like, I haven't been doing that shit. But I could fucking tell a compelling story.
You know who else is a booker?
Booker T.
Yeah. I was gonna say my mom, but yeah.
Your mom books wrestling matches?
No, it's a regular show joke. You know who else is a booker? Who? My mom. His character misunderstands fundamentally the point of the your mom jokes, so he makes them as my mom every time.
I mean, I make my mom jokes, but just because it fucks people up.
Yours are to mock. Yours are with your mom being the victim. This dude is just very proud. Mom. It's like, no, muscle man.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh man, yeah, not more. And it was so cool to see like 2 of my best friends at the fucking pinnacle of their career. But like, fuck, man, it's just such a fucking letdown. Like, knowing, like, it was right there. Like, everybody could see how much potential this story had, and they were like, but Roman.
He's so little.
Who?
Roman Reigns.
He's short.
What?
I'd say shorter than he looks, but I wouldn't say little.
Ah.
Like, his musculature, he's in great shape. Like, I'm not condemning him in any way as an athlete. They're phoning it in. There's nothing creative, nothing unique going on. They had 2 of the best stories that they have told in probably 10 or 15 years in the last month. I had the Sami Zayn versus Roman angle, and Sami lost that because outside interference and Roman win. And the only reason to have Sami lose is if you're going to have Cody win, and then they have Cody lose, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't. You're gonna break the bloodline up and have Jey Uso lose again? Okay, go ahead. Like, we already did his Roman versus Jey story, so that's off the table. Who do we have? Like, who's left? Roman versus Brock, been there, done that. Like, the problem is, like, Cody was the last viable threat on the roster who Roman has not already dealt with. Like, he's dealt with Sami Zayn, he's dealt with Kevin Owens, he's dealt with Brock Lesnar. Omos is nothing. He's dealt with Bobby Lashley. Like, there's nobody left. So, like, at this point, we're gonna do Seth Rollins again. Like, what's the plan moving on from here? Because, like, if we have Cody win, Cody gets the belts, and then you can tell the story of like Roman trying to get his belts back. But once everybody has lost to Roman 2 to 5 times, like, what? We don't have anything left to do.
I know Solo isn't getting any credit for that win, and the Usos are gonna get dragged come SmackDown. Probably gonna get 3 more PLEs with the bloodline, and that's it.
I mean, Solo needs to get credit for that win.
I know, but he's not. You know it.
He's at 120% was because of him. Roman was about to catch that 3rd Cody cutter.
Also, why did we
Crossroads.
change it from PPV to PLE?
No, because it's not a pay-per-view anymore. You pay monthly for the Peacock app, and it's just a premium live. PLE is premium live event.
I noticed that like the wording changed everywhere, and I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah, I mean you can pay for it on pay-per-view still, but it's why would you do that for the price of one pay-per-view? Joey, they're still $60 for the price of watching it one time on pay-per-view. You can get the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now they're all premium live events.
Besides, we're not just a video gaming thing; we're a nerd thing, and
yeah, we're fucking nerds, baby. And the gaming gets us wherever we need to be for wherever these conversations go. But I just want it to be better if fucking. And then Vince came back, and I was like, "Don't come back." And he was like, "No,
I'm back.
No chance. That's what you got.
No chance in hell.
You got no chance." Like, stop talking to wrestling like that. Leave it alone. Get it? Because wrestling's got no chance in it. Like, fucking. I used to say all the time that wrestling won't get saved until Vince McMahon dies, right? And then he went the long way to prove me right because I didn't want to be right. He was like, "I'm retiring," and then wrestling got so much better. And he's like, "I'm coming back to sell the thing," and I'm like, "Don't do that. We don't. Nobody wants you here." But yeah, it's WrestleMania weekend. Woo. Also, I'm going to apologize to everybody for a day late. I just juggling this work-life balance is wild. We are going to record our next episode on my very next day off, so you will have that one on time.
And it'll be a full-length episode.
Yeah, well, this one's close to full length. It's been an hour and a half right now. Before we cut stuff down, it'll probably be closer to like an hour, maybe 45 minutes. But we'll have more content for you. I'll be more awaker, I promise.
Yes, you will be more awake.
Look, that's the
You're
choice.
not the one that. No, I mean, you're not the one that fell asleep during it. We had a brief intermission as a delivery was made, and while Drew was getting it squared away, I fell asleep.
That's fine. You slept for like 2 minutes. This is not a tremendous amount of time. It was fine.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how long you were.
Oh, no. We started this at 2:15 and it's 3:45. So an hour and a half total. And it's gonna sound real wild to have this. I'm leaving this part here so that everybody's like, "What? No, it's like 40. What is happening?" We cut the piece with the delivery and we cut some dead space, and this is how long you get. So if you ever do the show with us at some point, anybody, you'll find out how long these things really run.
We cut dead space, so Kyle's just sad somewhere.
Oh,
he loves Dead Space.
I know he does. I was cracking up. I saw an April Fool's joke. They announced the Dead Space remake. I was like, "Fuck off." Although this was the first year I went the whole day without somebody being like, "Oh, look, Suikoden 6." I guess they know I'm at a bad spot in life and I can't handle one more heartbreak.
You were fooled by something, though. I can't remember what you were.
Oh yeah, I didn't look at the day.
Dragoon
The Legend of Dragoon revival. Yeah. We don't have to make me cry about it. Fuck. You've chosen violence, and I don't know why.
I've accidentally chosen violence. I don't really have a say in the matter.
Violence is my way of life. I do have a shirt that says "Built for Violence," so it works out.
And you have a shirt that says you're a problem.
I am a problem. I'm not a problem. I'm the solution. That's my email address.
Anyway, the crux of the problem.
The crux of the show. Play Resident Evil 4. It is as I would like to. It's a necessary evil. It's the only necessary evil in the franchise, but it's necessary evil. The other ones are probably better.
Ryza.
Yeah, you could play a Telly or Ryza. God, I want to, but fuck. I'll try it. Also, I need you to give me your Steam credentials at some point so that we can do the family share so I can play all of the other Cold Trails and the Ateliers guys.
All right. Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll do that later. But we are winding down here. So as always, if you want to support us, we don't have our first Patreon yet. Whoever you are, I'm going to love you forever. I'm going to shout you out from the rooftops.
From the rooftop.
Any patrons, even our $1 level, I'm going to shout you out in the end of every episode. So your display name is, as long as it's not real problematic. So if you want to have fun with that, make your name whatever you need it to be. I'm more than happy to shout everybody out every episode as soon as we start getting patrons. That's the dream right there. But if you want to support us, we Patreon. Please check us out on YouTube. I'm really trying to get the YouTube page up and off the ground and moving. That is going to help us. If we can get the YouTube to, we're looking for 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. If we can get the YouTube up to where it needs to be to qualify, that is going to allow us to be able to give you guys better content, longer form, conversations, give us the ability to kind of prioritize working on this show full time instead of looking for day jobs or running day jobs. And I think both of our dreams are to be able to just sit down and talk about gaming as a full-time gig. So if you want to support us and you can't do it monetarily, please go follow, check out our YouTube, send it to all your friends and family. The more attention that we can get on the YouTube side of things, the more that we can prioritize and making sure you guys have the best content. That's also a great place to have conversations with us. Go into our YouTube channels. We finally got a comment on one of our YouTube videos. Let me pull it up here. Our listener from Canada commented last week we asked what was your worst luck in gaming, and Nurse Kitty says my worst luck in gaming moment, or maybe just as dumbest, would have to be when I beat Diablo 3 and exited out of the game during the credits and had to redo the entire final act. More recently, Pokemon Violet has been a glitchy ride, falling through the floor multiple times and a random reboot on autosave. So
Oof.
Yeah, buddy. Woo, girl. But yes, absolutely pleased and happy to shout people out. Any funny comments? I'm gonna read funny comments on here, man. Tell us stories, give us instances, things on there. Let me ask you this, guys, before we go. YouTube comments, we have polls on Spotify where you can answer questions that I'm gonna pose. Is the game mechanic, what's a popular game mechanic that you guys hate? Something that every time you see it, you're like, oh fuck this so much. And let us know. We'll shout out any good answers, any dope answers, any unique answers. We'll toss those up in the next episode. I would love to have the opening of every episode just to be answers for the question from the previous one. And as soon as we start getting some interaction on things like that, we'll absolutely do that before we go into gaming news. With that being said, we absolutely love you guys. Those of you who do take the time to listen to us, you cannot understand how much that means to us. So thank you so much. Make sure you stock up on your potions, update your equipment, and keep on grinding.